All right, so today's video, we have a Silver 3 support on PC playing Mizuki. And say, hi, sorry in advance, English is not my first language. You never apologize for that. Like, I mean, that is, knowing multiple languages is very impressive. And you say, been a fan of my channel for a while, but first time submitting. I find your input on these replays always very good and useful. Oh, I hope so. I've been playing a lot of Mizuki since he came out. I do struggle a lot, I find, when trying to climb ranks alone. I used to play Ana and Mercy a lot before Mizuki came out. I know my positioning is something I really need to work on, and monitoring my cooldowns in this particular game. My soldier was complaining a lot that we didn't heal him enough. I tried my best, but felt maybe he was out of position. There's the sound I was wondering for. Out of position for me or out of sight too much. Having people in my line of sight is something I also struggle with, according to a friend who's in Plat for support. I'm wondering if you could give me some tips as to what I can try to work on to keep my team alive a little better than what I'm doing right now. Thank you very much for taking the time, and please don't roast us too much about the end of the match. I was already mad enough of myself for not noticing that they went in just after I had checked. Okay, I have an idea what that means, but we'll see. I will say with Mizuki, like, I like playing him a lot too, but a lot of it is being like very patient with your cooldowns, and even myself, who is very adamant about cooldown usage, I just like hearing the sound of the hat, and I use my hat too much. I just want you to know that. If you watch me play Mizuki, I'm using my hat too much. All right. I mean, first off, if it makes you feel any better, normally I wouldn't start on the low ground like this, but I know it's in silver where this will most likely happen, so. Yep, pretty much it. With your chains, be a little bit patient with when you hit the shot. It's just something I always give advice on. Don't move your, like, there's something weird, like, and this advice for some reason works for like everybody I've told it to. When you're doing your chain, just stop moving your mouse. Like, just make it a habit to stop moving your mouse, and you're gonna start hitting your chain a crap ton. I'm not even joking. It's very, very, like, I don't know what it is. It's one of the quicker, like, it's like a very sensitive, like, cooldown when you hit it. You hit the button, and then if you move your mouse, like, even within a 1/10 of a second, if you hit your button, it just goes like 20 feet away. So I know that sounds like the weirdest advice of like, just think about not moving your mouse there, but everybody I've told do that. It helps like a ton. Like, it helps a ton with that for some reason. Also, while we're here talking about this character, don't be afraid if you're in this angle to just shoot against a wall like this. I've been having a lot of success recently, like utilizing the ability to shoot off walls with this character. I think it's still being underutilized. Like, during this time where nothing's happening, just spam these walls. I'm not even joking. I build up alt charge, which gives me more. You'll see. Like, just start spamming those walls a bit more, and I think you'll see some good value. Even if you don't hit a shot like the whole time, you're at least zoning an area up. Anyway. Okay, so far everything's fine. The only thing I would really do is be on the high ground, but that's, again, every rank plays differently. See, like right here where you have like no, like, see how there's nothing happening? Like, don't be afraid just to shoot some shots main. Just do it, just spam some shots, right? Instead you're looking up at the high ground. Now, if you're just sitting there, like, this is what I mean, like, you're spending so much time trying to figure out something to do, that if you were just sitting here spamming this, like, this is a tough shot, right? Like, I get what you're going for here, but this is not easy with their positioning. Your teammates are going to be the ones that probably deal with that more. But if you're just spamming down main over here, right? Like, you're going to also see that your dominant needs some help. And maybe you being here spamming this might save your dominant for that extra, like, 1/10 of a second. Gives the dominant time to use the pushback and the crystal and kind of self-sustain. But when you run around in circles and you're not sure where you want to go, that's what's going to happen right there. So something to kind of look at, going forward with that play. Now, I would have backed up already, as in, like, I would have shifted out of here. You don't have to, but you're going to get stuck here if you keep doing the same. Holy crap, yep, there it is. Yeah. I mean, in that situation, that was a lot of you just stood around and kind of relied on your team to make a bunch of plays. And again, that can work sometimes, but that's where your inconsistency is going to come from, and that's what I'm noticing is you kind of just stayed in the same spot. You did the same exact thing, and you never really changed up what you were doing. So, again, keep in mind, while that's fine, you got to find to do, like, a little bit more there. Again, whether that's spam, like, I think spamming walls was probably the most important thing for you there. And then you're trying to disengage out. Like, let me kind of talk about this. Like, when you were stuck here and your tank was dead, it was still a 4v4, right? You were still in an advantageous spot to, have a chance at a retake, No guarantee you do. But when you just kept staying here over and over again, it also puts stress on your teammates who are playing here to feel like they have to help you. So now you've created like this weird spot where if you just keep sitting here and you're not even moving away, I would have shifted out immediately and played a little bit of a safer approach. You can rotate this way with your teammates. There's so many things you can do, but just like standing there and getting stuck right there is just kind of, it adds like an extra layer of difficulty for your teammates. So, yeah. Yes, the primary fire does bounce. Yes. Again, I don't have, like, see right there, that's going to go off of walls. Again, you may not hit shots, but, like, it's good for spamming out areas, and when it does hit, it can be super helpful. Yep, there you go. Again, the reason why I don't mind this ultimate is, remember, this is, like, considered a defense matrix, so unless they walk into it, which they could, you're going to help your teammates get kills. Remember, if you're on the other side of it, and they're in it, right, they will be able to hit you for damage. Keep this in mind, see? Like, if you're like right here and they're right here, they would be able to hit you with damage, if I'm correct, just to make sure I'm correct on that. But yeah, normally the way it works is it's a giant defense matrix. So you're doing exactly what you need to do here to survive it. They have to push into it, which could give you kills. And if not, your teammates have a safety net for, 7 seconds? So it's not a bad ult. Not like could have been used different times, of course, but it's not like I don't hate it. So, yeah. Good job getting out of that ultimate. I mean, that was kind of a tough one. Now, this is the next discussion of, like, I mentioned how your ultimate was okay. One thing I've learned recently is sometimes you got to be patient with that ultimate, and it's a tough one, because if you basically just have your ultimate for Emre ultimate every time, you're probably going to be able to, like, stop that ultimate. At the same time, maybe the Sierra ultimate would have killed your team anyway, so it's kind of like one of those hard to calls. And when you hear, what do you mean Sierra ultimate? So if the drone flies into the Sierra ultimate, it then deploys the ult. Does that make sense? So as long as you put the Sierra ultimate below the threshold of the roof of that, it's going to go into the middle of the ultimate and actually kind of counter it a little bit. So if you didn't know that, there's a way to send in your ultimate there for Sierra and actually get value. So this is what you were talking about being line of sight. I think, again, you're doing an okay job of putting spam up here, but if you're worried about line of sight, you need to learn to move over ever so slightly as your teammate does. Like, you could be right here and be fine, right? If your teammate wants to push up here, that's on your teammate, but you can go right here, which I think you're going to do. But, you can be a little bit quicker with it. I mean, like, right there, if you're worried about your tank line of sight in you, that's on your Mauga. Like, right there, that was 100% on your Mauga. Like, I'll just, even though it's a Mizuki VOD, I'll give you kind of like, if you're the tank in this situation, you don't want to go past here for now. It's really tough for your teammates because you have an extra layer of cover for, like, the enemy's going to have this as their sight line on you if you're right here, right? Your teammates have this sight line. So if you're the tank in that situation, don't push past this area. See? Unless like you get like a kill or something else later, but like don't push past this, right? You have legit so much cover here to make it like so they're forced to, hi buddy, to either go here at this off angle, try to go high ground on you, but your teammates are going to be able to see that. So yeah, anyway. All right, now you're backing away. Okay. Yeah, I mean, that was, again, that like, line of sight there was not really on you. That was on your tank. Your tank overpushed that, straight up. And Wine I Trust, thanks for the 17 months of the tier 1. Thank you. Appreciate it. That's what it felt like. Just trying to help out. Okay. Putting some damage in. Again, don't be afraid to spam walls here. Like, you just spam that corner, you're going to get some value. Nice play. Your teammates stayed in that. Now this is just your team's just losing a team fight, do it on ultimate. Don't stagger too hard. You can't get out, you can't get out. You just reset on the card. That was part of the problem there. For this side, you just want to use your ultimate. Yep, use your ult. But kind of in the middle. Oh. Well, that's a little bit that was, I'm gonna be real with you, I've done this before. Just verify it's going to the spot you want to go to. I have this problem with Sigma Ultimate where the game wants to attach to areas that are further than you want them to go. So the moment you move your mouse, what happens is it like is basically going from here and then gonna go back to there. So that's just like I've done this before too. It's just very like finicky. So just be careful of, give it like an extra like 1/10 of a second of verification here is all I'm saying. I've been there, by the way, that he spams hats too much. I mean, I get that. I mean, at the same time, talking about spamming hats too much, one thing I will say is, like, look at how the team's been playing. I think it's more of like the Mizuki is catching up on heals. Therefore, the Mizuki is also popping the hats more. That's the vibe I've gotten. Is not like I'm using it to use it. I think it's more along the lines of it's that you're playing catch-up mode, which you can argue would be that if you were in better range, you could make better hat decisions. But I think that's what it felt like to me. Is it felt like it's been more the team is kind of pushing up all over the place, and you're trying to always catch up on heals. And when you're catching up on heals, and yes, it does boost your aura, which is nice, right? Of course. But like, I don't even think the aura has been able to get much value, like if you look at it. So the thing is your numbers are going to look fine. You have 3,500 damage and you have 3,800 healing. The other team is double and all that, but your team comp is designed for more like quick kills rather than it is like heals. So we'll see. Not the best defense, I will say. We'll see how your attack goes though. Okay. That's just 2 grenades. That's a grenade coming out. You're good. All right. I mean, like, everything you're doing is like, and this is the problem you run into with Mizuki is like, you definitely need to be more proactive with your left clicks, because if you're just standing here to throw hats at your tank and then AoE heal, you're losing a crap ton of value with Mizuki. Straight up. Like, I'm not saying you have to go in and shift in, and I didn't talk about it at all in the defense, but I do think you can be a little bit more proactive in your damage and kind of play as a distraction. So like, for example, you can put your hat in here and just run up here aggressively. Now, I wouldn't say run right into them in a straight line, but I do think as they push them back a little bit, you could do something like that. And then you shift back. That's going to give your teammates a little bit of like value on like the flanks and make them look away from them. But I think right now, a lot of your gameplay is you're standing here waiting for something to happen, and that's it. Also, you have a dart in you. Just be careful of standing there. What do we say? I'll be back tomorrow. Thank you, Nightmare Phoenix, for the 14 months. Thank you. Yep. You don't have to have this right now, by the way. Okay, now spam. Just spam. 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 Don't even have to go with your. Okay. All right. Yep. There you go. It's nice to see you throw some shots at them. There you go. And okay. I mean, that was a little bit better. I would have liked to see you. I think you can do more damage output. Like, I think, like, remember that with Mizuki is if you spend a lot of time just sitting there waiting and waiting for things to happen and you're not throwing damage out constantly, you're losing a lot of value. So, we'll see. Still waiting. Yep, saw that coming. Again, you're playing very. I think it's very safe at times. Everything's reactionary, not proactive, and I want to see more of that. You notice how like I barely have seen you use your shift. Meanwhile, I'm looking over at their Mizuki and I'm just seeing their shift be used. So again, this is a lot of like sitting on like your back foot, waiting for things to happen, and I think that's always going to cause problems. So, yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like, you want to like, you know, the first half I was, you know, you defensively in silver, you're going to play a little bit safer, right? But I think on attack, like, you know, let's hit that shift button. Let's go in there. It's like, you know, obviously put your recall, whatever it's called, into a good spot. But if you're just standing here, like, waiting for things to happen, like, you're going to have 50-50 days. You're going to have days where you lose every game. You're going to have days where you win every game. Because it's so, like, relying on your teammates making the perfect plays. So, we'll see. All right. There you go, doing some damage. You throw a right click at your, there you go. Again, remember, try to use your shift to go in more. I'm telling you, it goes a long way with that playstyle. You don't have to do it every rotation, but you will get so much more value with that. Then you'll farm up all of like your ability to heal at max, and you're just constantly rotating that. This is one of those like, and this, Chad, this is one of those typical games you get sometimes where it's just like not much is happening. It's very just sit back and wait. All right, it's time. Huge. Wow. That was a huge Reaper ult. And what do we notice the whole time that Reaper ult happens? Going back to what I've said, you're waiting on things to happen the whole time. You look how far back you are, and look what everybody else has gone up to. Domina, who is one of the more like static tanks nowadays. Do you see this? One of the more static tanks takes a while to get to places. You have to kind of have setup time. Everybody goes in, and you're just sitting back here. You're just waiting. You're not going in with your team. You're like, oh, there we go. Team made a play. Okay, now I can go in. Now you're gonna start going in. Watch. Yep. You didn't go at the pace of your team. You didn't shift in. You just waited. That was it. So, do you think it's worth it to use against Hog in team fights? What, the Mizuki ult? Yeah, as long, I mean, of course. I mean, I would defense matrix a Hog ult if I could. Obviously, you run into issues if the Hog runs into it, but that could also cause line of sight problems. So. Go. Okay, you have your ult coming out? You know, here's the thing. I like your idea here. Something I would want people to think about when you're using ultimate sometimes is this, okay? So if the cart's gonna push up forward, I want you to think about more where the cart is going and where your team's gonna be going than using it back here, right? It's not bad, and I understand like you were trying to like prevent some Hog ult, but don't be afraid to like put it like here instead, right? So this way, now it's going to allow your teammates to do all the damage for free without worrying about anything, right? So if the Mizuki ultimate's here, look where they're going to be shooting into. Your teammates get full rain unless they push into the ult, which they're not going to, right? So I think putting it up a little bit more forward is going to be a much better play than putting it back here. This is the ultra safe, I'm waiting on my teammates to do stuff play. This is the, I'm going to be proactive with my ultimate and give my teammates a reason to go and get all these kills, right? That could be a huge difference maker. That can also save your soldier. I mean, look at your soldier running up there. Again, doesn't die, but are you seeing what I'm saying? So, yep. See how their Mizuki uses it aggressively back at your team? Do you see that? That has been a stark difference I've noticed. Their Mizuki's been more willing right now to be aggro, and you're playing very safe. All right. Like right now, let me give you an easy path. Hit your shift button, go back here very quickly, do some damage. Before your timer runs out, hit shift, you're back to your team, your teammates are still alive, and now you've done something. Do you see that? Easy. Pop your shift, go through here, do some flank damage. Before your thing goes away, shift back. You've now built up some ability to heal more, and then now you're back to square one. What have you done? You've built 20% more ult charge than you would have built prior, and you're using your cooldowns, and you're being a threat to their backline if they choose not to look for you. See that? Very simple rotation, very easy play. Yep. Oop, I went third person. Oh man, what is that? I went like third person, hit a couple buttons. We're good. Something I've noticed, and I don't know if it helps or not, but you're over flicking a lot of your shots. One of my number one problems was that. I'm a little bit better at it now. You're like, you're just trying to like, whenever somebody's right in front of you, you flick off your shots. Something to think about. You can help a little bit. Yeah, you're not gonna be able to do anything about that if you don't have your ult. You can maybe shoot at them, but like you can't like get an ult kill or survive that with just your right click. There it is. Yeah, just reset. Again, have you noticed how their Mizuki is very like aggressive, uses their chain aggressively the closer they are, and they're using their shift? That has been the huge difference I've noticed. You just play so passive, right? Like, and that's probably why you get like line of sight issues sometimes, is that you're not pushing at the pace of your team and you're not leading the pace. Sometimes you can lead the pace as Mizuki right now. I don't know what your Mauga saw, but they really thought there was somebody in here. Maybe they're, I have no clue actually. I couldn't even think of anything. Yep. Oh, Mizuki's very fun. I agree. Notice how you're winning like team fights only on the tail end of your Reaper going in and killing 3. I respect that effort. Yep. That's that ultimate. Okay. So they're gonna have to retake. I would just ult near the cart. Kind of where like the completion spot is. It's gonna force them in there and they won't be able to be healed. So like kind of like You can give it a second. Give it a second. I saw what you saw, by the way. Now use it. Okay. There you go. I would have used it even further back, but it's fine. I like how even in the most aggressive like aspect of that, you still managed to go with the safest play. Like just use it in the middle of theirs. I would have used it more proactively. I would have made it so like, why when you're at like that like 5-second mark of where theirs was done with, I would have just used it aggressively. Sad man, thank you for the 2 gifted. Appreciate it, thank you. Yep. Yeah, it's very, the way that you play this is very, it's just very safe. You're not really playing to be proactive and like really, you're just playing not to lose. And I've always talked about you have to play to win, not play not to lose. Because when you do that, you just play so safe and you just rely on so many other things happening. And I've noticed that with their Mizuki. Their Mizuki is very aggressive against you. Very aggressive. I assume your team taps. Okay. I'll go. I mean, I think your team might actually take this. The soldier's back. How is it still going? Oh, God. Now, even though, like, that wasn't the best cat ult, do you notice how their support line has been very more, like, has been way more aggressive than you? And it's leading to good results. Obviously, your team won't have a chance to win this game. You can draw it, of course. But, again, I feel like you just have the most safe style of Mizuki. Right? Like, you just play so safe. Like, even their support line shifted a little bit and caught up to you in all of, like, your stat line. It's just... we got to find ways to get you a little bit more proactive in these matchups. I think once you are, I think things are going to go a lot better. Like a lot better for you. You asked the question of when you say play to win versus play not to lose, is there an appropriate time to do the latter? Yeah, I mean, man, that's a tough one. Like this is like any football fan knows what I'm talking about. Like in theory, like, you know, when you have a huge lead, you can play a little bit safer. But I'm like, it just depends on like your type of play style, who you're playing with, etc. I've always been more in the mindset of if I'm just going to play consistently the same way, right? I'm going to play very consistently. Like if I'm playing aggressive, I'm going to play consistently aggressive because aggressive is how we got to where we're at to begin with in those games, right? But yeah, I mean, like if you have like 4 minutes on the time bank and like you know, they're going into second point with 2.5 minutes and you kind of choose not to use an ultimate, like I would say it's probably fine, right? But I would be playing aggro the whole way, right? I'd be playing aggro the whole way. The only time I would maybe play it safe, like safer, is like, okay, we're not able to stop the snowball, but if we do like die in the cart a couple of times and kind of play very smart, we can get it down to no time. That one I can argue, like if you have a huge time bank of like you play safe just to make sure you guarantee a draw and or a win. But again, that's still a little bit too safe for me. But yeah. I don't know. It's hard to call. I think it's just going to be based off of the player and what you seem fit there. But I you know, I'm more of a proactive player. This game. Let's see if you can hold. Well, that's a tough start. Again, you're using your shift in front of them. So like, this is another reason why I want you to use this stuff more proactively. You're using your shift in front of them. So now that's basically a wasted cooldown, right? Like you're using it for that little bit of burst, right? Okay, that's fine. Like the speed boost, etc. But you're not ever able to use it proactively if you're just constantly using it to disengage. So that's why I prefer when you're a little bit more aggro. So say you do get hooked there and you don't get killed, then you can shift back to a safety net and then your cooldown doesn't go to waste. Now you're just using it in front of them and that's it, right? So anyway. See how you're using it in front of them directly and you're not going, like if you're just like, say you just do this, ready? Boom, pop your shift right here, go in. Right now. Now you're being aggressive. They're looking at you, and then you go, okay, I'm being a little bit too aggro. Back away. You're back to safety. You're back to the same spot. You can heal, play around that hack cooldown, or like the shift cooldown, rinse and repeat. Right? Easy way to do that. Easy way to do that. So, yep. And again, see how you're using your shift after you get hooked? You can't use that spot anymore for that. That's done. That cooldown's done. Now you can't use it aggressively, right? But if you go back a little bit and then go in, now you have a different story. Like, you can shift right there, you know? But you're going to use it, see what I mean? Like, okay. Here it is again, same thing. Okay, now everybody's standing around. Okay? I still, man, it's, don't, no. You're gonna need that. So, oh boy, I already know what's happening, by the way, chat. It's over. The game's over. I mean, it was proactive. I will say, listen, it was a proactive ult. I just gotta say, if they're not really there, there's no point to use it just yet, right? Like, I like the idea you're being aggressive with your ult, but like, you gotta let them be near you to like have the ult get the value. You see what I'm saying? So, but again, I mean, also, this is what's happening, chat. I saw this on their screen. In case you're wondering, this is what's happening. It's not really their fault. They barely saw it. Yeah, that's what's happening. So like, you know, your team's going down there and there's the game. So listen, here's what I'll say. Like, you're playing a very safe style, right? Like, it's not, I'm not going to sit here and say you're playing terribly. I don't think that would be fair of me. I think you're just playing very safe and you're not giving yourself opportunity to get kills, right? You're just not doing that. You're just kind of, you're basically playing the equivalent if you played Lucio and like, you just never hit your speed boost button. And I know that sounds weird, but like, you're just kind of sitting there and you're just hoping that things happen. And when you do that, that's usually where things will struggle. So one thing I want you to work on is let's start using that shift way more, right? Let's start using that shift way more. I want you to start realizing that you can be aggressive and then and use your cooldown to back away. Once you start doing that, you're going to increase your damage output by like 20% or more. And you're also going to get ults quicker. You're going to have more of your heal up time going, and you're not going to be wasting hack cooldowns. So let's just start with that, right? Be very aggressive with that. Your ultimate, remember, I want you to use it more. Think about where they're going. Like, as in, like, this is where our team fight is going. Let's use that ultimate to kind of like break apart their team and then get kills. Your chain, remember to start moving your mouse so much during that, working that flick shot you were doing, working all of that stuff, and I think you're going to be fine. But like, let's start with the basics of being aggressive, because I think that if you do that, you're going to see a lot more value. The hero's so fun to play. I feel like you're playing this hero at 50% right now. If you get that to 100%, not even like playing at the level of a pro at like a ceiling. I'm talking about just using all of the abilities in the item. I mean, all the abilities. I think you're going to start to see way more value and you'll start to win. So you got this, all right? You absolutely got this. If you like the video, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the YouTube. If you haven't, leave a comment. All of that helps. You want to submit your own spectating, my Discord is where to do that. If you want to watch more of these, they're going to pop up on the side here. We have a lot of spectating, so give them a look if you haven't. And with that being said, I hope you all have an amazing day/night.